Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Hyperion Cup. We've got Kaiju Core Clover up against Phoenix. It's myself, Marks, alongside Lemon Pepper, and we're produced and observed by Oakley. And Lemon Pepper, how you doing? Fantastic! It looks like we're having a little bit of technical issues there. Oh, we can see him still.
I'm
It's
done.
oh,
All
there you
right.
go. Oh,
Well,
you're back.
yep,
You're back.
that's the caster curse in and of myself. But yeah. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted by my own technology, yeah, it's great to be here. Great to be back in the booth with you, Marks.
That's good
You
to be
know, I
back.
think we've got a pretty excellent matchup here tonight. Great kickoff to our second split here at this tournament. So I mean, I'm excited to have at it.
Yeah, we've got really interesting teams coming up here. And let's look at quickly Kaiju Core Clover right now. So, a lot of wonderful players here. But you've seen Kaiju Core Clover happen, and you also know a little bit of the history here. So, why don't you walk us through some of these players and what's been going on with the team?
Well, yeah, Kaiju Core Clover. I mean, they are a team that they got second last season of the Hyperion Cup.
Yep.
This is a team that obviously, like all teams in this tournament currently, they've seen some renovations from last season's roster. You know, you've got Dogfish, Jexus joining. I believe possibly Light possibly is new, but this is all joining a core roster that was incredibly successful, and we have seen flashes of that so far in this first split. But I would definitely say that overall, this has probably not been up to expectations for Clover to begin the season, and I expect to see them, ultimately trying to rectify that in this second split.
Yeah, absolutely. Clover not doing too hot in the overall standings right now, but like you said, they did get second place last time around, so definitely have quite a bit to bring to the table. And now, let's
Absolutely.
take a look at the competitors here. This is going to be a Phoenix coming in with a six-man squad, so that means that everyone here is going to be in all times. And if I'm not mistaken, Lemon Pepper, this is a squad that's been together for quite some time. What can you tell us about Phoenix in the Hyperion Cup so far?
Well, yeah, their core have been together for 3 years. They've competed in multiple tournaments. If you've been in the competitive scene around this level of Overwatch, then a lot of these names are going to be pretty familiar to you. I, for one, that was CSPPP right off the bat. Looking at this roster was someone I instantly recognized in the off tank role. Definitely one of the, I'd say, at least in this area of Overwatch, definitely a name that's familiar for a lot of people. You go down this roster. It's a team that while there are some newcomers as far as added to this core, it's a team that they're no strangers to the competitive aspect of things. They're no strangers to winning. We see that they have a strong record right now with room to improve. Ultimately, depending on how this next split goes for them. I mean, you've got Nat and Safe on the DPS line, both of which have been showing extreme performances throughout this split. So I mean, I look forward. I think this match is really going to be just knockdown drag out. I mean, whatever you want to call it, but it's going to be excellent. I could see us going to a map 5. I don't know if my brain could take it, but I mean,
Oh,
if it happens, it happens. We're going to roll with it, man. I mean,
yep,
that's what we do.
yep.
But this is just one of those matchups that it really could go either way. It's a question of what team is going to show up for each map. Because Phoenix, they have the opportunities, they have the manpower, the skill to ultimately take down a very successful team in Kaiju Clover. Meanwhile, if we see the flashes of brilliance that we've seen so far in this tournament from Clover, and they get back to that dominance that they saw in this previous tournament, then this is a team that will be vying with the undefeated teams despite their record. So it's just interesting. I think for both these teams, either way, this is going to be a statement matchup going into the second half of this tournament.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself. Once again, we talked a little bit about Clover's standings, namely that they're not necessarily performing as much as well as I guess people would have had expected them because they looked amazing last season and coming in. Well, right now they're seventh on the team board, and a team like Phoenix, which has been around and like you said, doing the circuit for quite some time with their core group intact, they have a lot of experience. But coming into this, I don't think anybody would have expected Phoenix to really be placed above Kaiju Core right off the bat. Am I right in saying that, Lemon Pepper?
I don't think you're far off the mark there at all. No, no, I think you're dead on. In fact, Phoenix as a name as called called a little bit pretentious, if you will, to talk about our teams this way, but as a brand, let's say, Phoenix might not be as recognizable in the competitive scene yet. So seeing them up there in the top four, it is a bit of surprise seeing that some of these other big names, your Frost Orgs, your Kaiju's,
Mhm.
sitting a little bit lower. That being said, we're only halfway through. Phoenix has a chance to improve this record. They're only sitting one game behind the leaders up there in Danger Close. So I mean, at the end of the day, this could go either way. We could see more great things for Phoenix. We could see just all kinds of. I mean, it's really open. We're only halfway through the season. The way I see it, we're almost back to zero. As far as it's a new ball game. We've had this nice sort of week reset. Teams have either been using that to mentally reset, to recharge, or they've been using it to build and to scrim and to develop, or maybe a little bit of both, a little combination of the two. So either way, this is a little bit like I guess call it halftime at a football game,
Yeah.
where you've basically just got coaching. I think coaching and mental toughness are going to be what win teams out in the second half of this tournament.
Absolutely. And well, it's all going to kick off here on Nepal first. So, Kaiju up against Phoenix. Going to be starting out on our lovely control map. And Lemon Pepper, what can you tell us about Nepal?
Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, coming out on Village, this looks to be an interesting sort of comp dynamic we have. We've got a very sort of six-man style coming out on the side of Phoenix. You do have a little bit of a twist there with the Symmetra instead of the Reaper. Meanwhile, though, we do have the switch Cannon on the main tank. This is typically their flex DPS players. So you've got Cannon on main tank, but you're running this traditional brawl comp. You've got the Mei Symmetra, and now we see that they already have point control.
Yeah, and well, the team is rotating around them. Phoenix trying to get on their back. Not able to put in too much damage here, but doing a good job of doing the pincer mechanic. It's going to be very difficult to push in, though, into those Symmetra turrets. Especially using that Moira, you go for a little bit of a fast-paced attack, but right now, Kaiju Corp are just all the way set up. Hey, they're going to get first capture, and now they want to take this team fight. We see it right off the bat, Max getting deleted. And just like that, the rest of the team is going to be falling down as Kaiju Corp fake a firm first fight statement here. Not even dropping a single person, getting all the way up to that ult shard for J Brox forever.
Well, that is textbook how you want to play this comp here on Village. You get to the point early, you take the control, and then as soon as you get point control, you use that to push out, and then you just go in as a brawl and you dismantle the enemy composition one by one. And if you look, they reap the benefits now because you've got J-Brox Forever sitting there with the amplification measures. Oh, JB Rocks, excuse me. And then you've got Dogfish sitting there with Symmetra online as well. I mean, you've got the old advantage coming out in spades for clvr, as well as almost 50% in point progress.
And they're swapping up the comp here. We're going to be seeing the window drop down. Should stall things out. Kaiju get a little bit more time. They're rotating around, but you know what? Just walk on the other side of the window. Everything's going to be fine. All your bolts still going to be nice and amplified. Finally, it drops down. The Brawl's coming in. An excellent isolation wall here. Max getting singled out. The Coalescence is brought online just to try and keep him going, but there's just way too much damage flying in here. Right now, just trying to do so much damage. It's an absolutely massive shatter as so many people hit the ground, but the Sound Barrier comes out in response, but it's all but over for Phoenix as Kaiju Corp just swoosh them right into the ground, and they're getting up there. Lemon Pepper, 75% already generated.
Absolutely, rounding out to 80% now too. Ultimate's online. You've got both DPS ults. You've got a self-destruct for Felix. I mean, these are a lot of strong ults coming online. Meanwhile, Cannon, a surprise on the main tank, but an extremely welcome one. It's been a refreshing main tank play coming out for clvr.
Here we go. Coming in here, the Mei wall goes up to isolate there, but it's going to be met by a Symmetra wall as well. A lot of ultimates just being committed into here, but it's actually going to be an explosion that catches Nat off guard. And now the rest of the team is falling. The Blizzard might freeze them up, but it's going to freeze them on the point as there's nobody to even contest. And just like that, Kaiju Corp 100% to 0 as they win out round number 1.
Unfortunate. That was a very good ult from Safe, waiting for Felix to use the self-destruct. However, the kind of incalculable factor in that is that the rest of the team died. So at the end of the day, it all kind of falls for naught, and you get clvr ultimately taking a very compelling 100-0 victory there on Village.
Yeah, that was an absolutely massive statement they made. Clvr just looked so good. Lemon Pepper, there wasn't even really a good team fight there.
Well, that is the clvr that a lot of us have grown to know and fear from the first season of Hyperion. That's the dominating aspect, the dominating presence. The tanks are constantly in your face. The DPS never seem to get pressured. They're constantly killing you. And you see, we're going to get a little bit more of the same. You've got Dogfish and Radiant going over to the Cassidy and the Reaper, respectively. JB on the BAP. You've still got Cannon main tanking on the Reinhardt. You love to see it. Meanwhile, Phoenix. Oh no! And that is. Well, that's the worst thing you could have starting off for your double shield comp. You're now a man down, and the Lucio of Copel is just rushing in on you.
Yeah, not great. See, Kaiju Core are already just Clover capitalizing on that, getting so much distance. They're going to get first cap yet again. Now they're charging in as a cohesive unit. Max is going to have to back off onto the side. But now the team is all split up and isolated as Safe just falls down. Radiant Light just doing so much work with those dual shotguns in their face. Right now the Clover DPS are absolutely turning it up. And they're pushing them all the way back. That's first mistake. Might have cost them a little bit more than they were expecting.
Will, because it's going to be so hard for this double shield comp to retake any ground when you've got an in-your-face Reinhardt playing right there in the choke. I mean, it's unfortunate. We've seen it so many times, but this amplification maker, that's a really great wall by Safe to block that. That's going to allow your double shield to maneuver and actually maybe get set up here and do what you want in your double shield comp.
But look at this, Clover moving such perfect synergy. They're going to be dropped up into the air right now, gets dropped back down. No kills really secured here. See if they were able to flip the point around.
Maneuver by Phoenix. That was just excellent maneuvering. That's exactly what you have to do in your double shield comp here on this point. You just play ring around the rosy, basically. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Oh, people are followed right off the edge there. Sound Barrier committed as well as Clover want to clean up the rest of this fight, and it's not going to be too difficult for them. Got a little pesky Lucio on the point, but no, they're just able to turn that one around and continue to get up that percentage.
That's why I love Brawl. I mean, at the end of the day, you can do everything right in a double shield comp. You can do the perfect rotation. You can maneuver. You can take point control. And then Reinhardt can just go, nah, I'm just going to use my hammer and run you over. And now we're right back to excellent point control. And now you're right back to square one if you're this double shield comp.
And there we go. The Shatter comes in. Doesn't find many, but is able to get Safe off guard here. Now we can see the... Wow, Clover, they're holding him at the choke. Right now, Phoenix can't even get a foot in the door, let alone try and capture this point. And they're getting close to last fight territory here, Lemon Pepper.
Absolutely, and this is the type of oppressive style you want to play with the Brawl comp, especially against double shield. You don't want to let Phoenix set up. You saw if you give them an inch, they can get that full rotation like they did early. Look at this bomb. That's exactly what you need to push them, but the rotation's still coming out.
Oh, good response there. Radiant Light gets knocked out of the ultimate here. Sound Barrier committed, not coming in, making up for that mistake earlier. Supercharger invested as well. Oh, Nat just going for the Cassidy diff, takes Dogfish out. Absolutely disgusting, and just like that, Phoenix are able to stabilize, but that was a very expensive fight.
Very costly, but it was a necessity. I mean, you're looking at 97% for Clover. I mean, and the great thing is you're in a double shield comp. If you play this right, you can really be a controlling presence on the point. You can kite away from fights. You can force the Brawl to expend a lot of resources to get to you, which they're going to have to, because the ults will be coming online here in a matter of a couple fights.
Ooh, that Blizzard's gonna be nice and swallowed up. Somebody go to Dairy Queen. That one's very easy. And right now, this looks like it's completely turning around. Clover, they're on their back legs right now, as Phoenix are able to hold them at these doors.
That was impressive. I mean, no rotation really necessary. They just weathered the storm and ultimately went out. Meanwhile, though, the ultimate economy is shifted now towards Kaiju Clover. They now have the Shatter. They've got amplification matrix coming online. Cassidy will have that Deadeye in no time. So now this is where Phoenix is really going to have to play the rotations. They've got to try and bait some of these ults out, get little value from them, and ultimately just keep getting this point progress.
And here we go. Clover coming down from below. Now made their way onto the point and drop that amplification matrix down, and they're going to cut down that wall. We see the Deadeye come into play right there as Nat gets taken out. Just like this, Clover want to make this rush work. They're going in, and they're going in hard right now. Radiant Light just charging in there. Goes out of it, but that's okay. We got a Sound Barrier online as Safe falls down as well. A Supercharger is going to be brought online to try and give Phoenix some hope here, but it's all fallen apart for them as Clover are able to flip this point around. And, well, this is overtime right now. They got to make sure to stall this out, but it's only Pen that's left. And Pen falls down, and that's going to be map number 1 going to Kaiju Core Clover.
That was just excellent brawl play all around coming out from Clover there. Understanding how to maneuver, that drop down there, taking control of the point there, forcing the fight, forcing the double shield comp to jump down to you on point. All of that, that's exactly what you want to do. That's textbook. We're seeing Cannon here, the projectile DPS player. I would like to stress again, it's a lot like Ratatouille with Chef Gusteau. Anyone can cook, anyone can Reinhardt, and I'm a Reinhardt player, so I mean that's me saying it. So
Did you just
I mean,
compare a player to Ratatouille?
I mean, hey, when you're as old as I am, you have kids and they love that movie, and
Hey,
so
fair
we
enough.
love Ratatouille and we don't talk about Bruno. So
Okay.
that's just how it is.
That's very important. That's wow. You're keeping up with the movies in this day and age. But Bay, Cannon doing a great job in that main tank role for Clover right now. You talk about those projectiles, but I guess that also counts for those fire strikes too. Reinhardt just doing so much damage there. And honestly, I really liked that aggressive style that Cannon was kind of taking. You could tell that the team was pretty much playing as a unit, but whenever Cannon was ready to just charge in, they all moved together. And Cannon was more than happy to just lead the charge into there, not showing that fear and just allowing the rest of the team to kind of play around that.
Absolutely. And it was a really just overall coordinated performance, as well as enabling Cannon to do exactly what he needed to do on Reinhardt. Radiant Light on the Mei, I mean, those walls there, I mean, great isolation on the Max on the opposing Reinhardt. We saw that front and center on Village. So, I mean, that was just a lot of great brawl dynamics coming together for Clover. They always were a really strong brawl team. Whenever Glitch is playing main tank, obviously they have the ability to play those ball comps that also gain them a lot of success throughout their time here in the Hyperion Cups. Plural, the ball comps have always been pretty strong and successful for Clover. Will we see that with Cannon on the main tank? It remains to be seen. I'm personally a proponent of making an enemy team beat the comp you're running if they really haven't proven that they can do it yet. The whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it, basically.
Yeah.
And so, if you're Clover here, you can sit pretty comfortable on Brawl. You're going into hybrid. I mean, odds escort, excuse me. You're going into escort. Going to Junkertown, this is a opportunity where Brawl can still be viable. You're seeing a lot of 6-man. This does offer some opportunities to Phoenix. Obviously, it is their map choice. They can open up their comp picks. They can play possibly a little bit more mobile. Maybe try to challenge Cannon on the main tank. See exactly what the depth is on that role. What kind of comps this is going to allow Clover to play, and maybe try to exploit that there. Because I mean, if we're being honest, if we keep up with Clover getting to play their game on the Brawl, this could be a very short series based on what we've seen in that first map.
Absolutely. But there's one thing that I do think we should highlight there, and that is that Phoenix really wanted to play that, that double shield composition.
Yes.
We saw them try to match Clover on the Brawl, just completely unsuccessfully on that first point. But they had moments where they looked really good on double shield. And especially, too, on a map like Junkertown, there does allow for a little bit more opportunity to kind of flex that double shield style. And so I'm curious to see what Phoenix might be bringing to the table here, because like you said, Kaiju Core Clover look super comfortable on the rush right now. Cannon just coming in here and making a name, like absolutely just leading the charge. But Phoenix might have an opportunity here to try and switch things up on them, especially too thinking about this map defensively. There are a lot of really long sight lines that could be absolutely devastating if Clover continues to play the rush into a double shield poke composition, don't you think?
Lots of high grounds as well. That's an excellent point. I mean, double shield is extremely viable here on a lot of parts of Junkertown. We've seen that, despite the loss there, I think that really was just a mismatch in comp coming out for Phoenix. I thought the double shield was played very well. I thought the rotations used were strong. I thought, could aspects have gone better? Yes, but I thought all around it was strong rotational. I mean, they understood the concepts of double shield well on that first Nepal map. So transferring that over to Junkertown, I think it's reasonable to believe that we could see some double shield play and that we could see some success from it as well. And that could be a big aspect into what Phoenix is going to try and do here to really even up the series and send us into really making this a close possible map 5 series.
Yeah, and well, hey, this is where right now Phoenix, they have to make a little bit of a statement. They got to put their foot in the door, take that first step towards tying things up.
Very true.
Because, well, hey, if Clover get the rolling on this point, this could be pretty difficult for them. Now, we are going to be loading into Junkertown. We're going to be starting out with Kaiju Corp Clover on the defense here. So Phoenix are going to be the ones who are going to be starting our attack. Very curious to see what Clover decide to pull out on this defense. And well, Lemon Pepper, looks like we're getting a little bit of a double shield right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a smart move. I think double shield is a very team aspect. It's sort of comp to where, you know, you're putting maybe a projectile player that might not be as familiar with callouts. You put them on an Orisa and a double shield comp. I think you can do well with that. I mean, we've seen that Cannon can play the main tank role. I think it's a smart pick to go double shield here. Meanwhile, though, you've got Phoenix over on the ball sig comp. I love seeing that. Mercy's in. This is a very, very aggressive comp, very low healing, but a lot of damage potential coming out for the attack.
All right. Nat, come on. I want to see something cool here. Busting out on the Widowmaker. That would definitely make a statement here, but taking a look at some of these headshots. Now we have Safe coming in, poking and prodding with some of these arrows, trying to find something here, as Max is going to be setting up on the side, but Safe opening it up with a hit onto JB. Doesn't matter. Going to have that resurrection coming in online, but still, a lot of ground gained right now for Phoenix.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, the res being able to negate that. Oh, wow, that's exactly what you need there, too, if you're Nat.
Yep. Here we go. Trade's going back and forth right now. Cannon being the main cannon right now on this Orisa. Oh, Felix falling down as well. Nat kind of popping. Thank you, Nat. He's actually heard what I was saying and wanted to deliver. Almost got the headshot off onto the Hanzo. He's going to look for one more shot, but I think the damage has been done here, Nat. Beautiful. And just like that, Phoenix are going to get a lot of headway on this cart. Pretty much uncontested.
Excellent off angle by Nat there, able to survive, getting that first pick there, ultimately just able to survive, get that off angle, and then just wreak havoc. And now that's set up. Phoenix now, they've got a really open sightline. They're able to get control, set up their double shield, or their ball comp exactly the way they want to, and it really puts Clover into a corner now.
There we go. They're going to be getting into this a little bit. The accretion coming out and being able to tuck out backs from that. Now, Clover, they want to make a statement here. CSPP going to be rolling in through the back line, but Safe finds Dogfish already. Pop them all up and let the Hanzo shoot him out of the air. That's what's kind of going on here. Still, Phoenix, well, they want to take this fight. Oh, Safe just finds Radiant Light halfway through the air. Right now, Safe has just been keeping this absolutely alive. Has the Dragon Strike online with mines behind it, and just like that, CSPPP and Safe keep this point alive, and that they will be rewarded for point number 1 for it.
I have to imagine that there's going to be, and right as we see, it looks like a mirror tank line coming out on the side of Clover. Some switches had to be made. Nat is basically running free right now on the Widowmaker. She's cleaning up. She's getting the picks. And so now something really has to be done about that. And now that falls to Cannon on the Wrecking Ball, filling for Glitch's shoes. But wow, Safe. That's a big pick early. I mean, that's just opening this up.
Yeah, Kobo will get the Resurrect in, bring Dogfish back into the fight, but still, you got to be so careful against this Hanzo. Whoa, Safe. Just dropping in those arrows right now. I'm going to let the Wrecking Ball just boop them around a little bit here. But already, Phoenix are halfway through onto this point. Cannon going in for a little bit of a stall. But Max, so close to that ultimate already here, Lemon Pepper.
Yeah, I mean, throughout all this, just a steady point progress is achieving. Now, Dogfish able to get this done. He's got numbers, but what a huge eat, though. Max shutting that down promptly. And now you've got a possible opportunity for Phoenix to really push in on this kind of entrenched defense, and now Copel getting taken down early. That's really going to give Phoenix the opportunity.
Yeah, Safe has been absolutely popping off here, and just for good measure, Max is going to use the Flux as well, just ducks out of the way of that accretion. And just like that, well, they've still got a nice big hamster in their face. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. That's probably going to be point number 2 here, Lemon Pepper.
It sure looks like it, and some cracks, some chinks in the armor starting to appear for Clover as you get them off of these brawl comps with Cannon on the Reinhardt. I don't necessarily think that it's necessarily a poor play from Cannon by any means. I just think it's possibly a communication issue, a synergy issue. You know, Wrecking Ball is one of those comps where you really need to have a lot of good communication coming out. But look at this Dragon Strike already early. These picks just rolling in. Uh-oh, and
Oh,
it does look like we have a possible disconnect coming in. But before that disconnect, I mean, it's really we're beginning to see just the fact that there's a bit of a disconnect, I feel like, between the initiations of Canon and Radiant Light, as well as just kind of what's happening. But meanwhile, on the opposite end, you're seeing that Nat and Safe are literally just getting these huge picks. Uh, at the start of fights, shutting down fights early. Clover's being forced into these awkward fights that they really don't want to take, but they kind of have to just because they have to get some sort of stoppage on the point just to kind of facilitate something. And ultimately that's all kind of biting Clover in the butt a little bit. And now as we get into the third stage though, you can go to Brawl, you can put Cannon on the Reinhardt, you can go to these
mhm.
comps where the synergy's a little bit stronger and you can kind of work around this. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you can, stop them short of the point, all you have to do is cap, and you've got your win condition set up. It doesn't matter how far they've pushed it. If
Yeah,
you can hold them at the end and make it, I mean, that's still a
still
win
counts.
at the end of the day. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, at this point, it's just a question of can Clover right the ship and ultimately get a stall on this really just sort of dominating performance that Phoenix has came out with now on this wrecking ball comp, because we need to. We're talking a lot about what Clover isn't doing, but a lot of this is also what Phoenix is doing, and what you've got is CSPPP setting up a lot of engagements with the wrecking ball, generating just a lot of chaos. You see that there's a pretty good
Absolutely.
ult generation coming up as well. That's pretty good evidence that just a lot of impact is being felt by from the wrecking ball, and then because of that, when you've got great hit scan players, and I'm kind of throwing Hanzo in there as well with that. But when you've got Nat and Safe on the Widow and the Hanzo, I mean, you throw all that in together. I mean, this is a really great combination. This is a good look for Phoenix as we get back into the action.
And already Max is going to get a pick onto Kopel. You mentioned some really important stuff there. I think that Nat and Safe being able to hold such long sight lines, they're just DPS diffing Clover right now. And, well, you can see the impact of that because, well, how the composition works, you got to play nice and together, but if you're losing people right off the back, just like JB, then that's going to make things a lot more difficult. Radiant Light swapping to the Tracer to give the Widowmaker a little bit more trouble, but still. Okay, Radiant Light did find Nat into the back line, so that might be an opening up for Clover right now. We are going to be seeing the res come in here. Radiant just barely able to escape, but just like that, Max cleans it up. And this is looking like a real opportunity for Phoenix to finish with an amazing time bank.
Yes, this will be a huge time bank here in Junkertown. And I mean, it's just, again, these sight lines, we're playing right into Phoenix's game, giving Nat and Safe these sight lines to really just wreak havoc.
Here we go.
JB is going to need a really big nano here.
Ooh, Felix goes up into the air, uses the Flux, is able to pick up the Sigma. Meanwhile, Radiant gets the nano boost. Running in here, trying to wreak havoc. Does have the pulse bomb ready to go. He's going to throw that onto the wrecking ball. Wrecking ball falling extremely low. Trying to pressure down JB in the back line. Does have that mercy pocket though. Whoa, Radiant actually shooting someone else by accident there, but it is going to come out on Clover's favor. As soon as I say that, though, Nat finds yet another pick onto Cannon. Somebody needs to stop Nat, Lemon Pepper. This is ridiculous.
No one can hide
There's a lot of pressure coming out from Nat right now on the Widow. It's very impressive actually, and now you saw by getting that pick there, they're able to basically soft reset. And now they're already back in here engaging, and they're doing it with ultimates.
Yeah, these ultimates are going to be extremely difficult. Right up into, oh man, Dogfish barely staying alive there. Cannon finally able to find Nat in the back lines, but Radiant Light getting traded out for it. Still, Phoenix, they're not sure whether or not they want to take this engagement. The utility's being broken down as we speak. Felix looking for an opportunity. The Wrecking Ball is going to be rolling around just above them. Meanwhile, CSPPP is going to go in for the engage, has to immediately back out as Cannon goes in this time. And now, the stall has happened here, so there's plenty of time for the rest of Phoenix to come back in here. Radiant Light finding one, Cannon with another. That might be more than enough, Dogfish on this Cassidy. Okay, the mines have been deployed, and finally Clover are able to push Phoenix back, but oh my goodness, this was looking like they cannot even budge a second here. Petrichor under constant fire.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's just really strong now. I really feel like Clover kind of figured it out, got the defense going. They might have had a slight overcommittal of ultimates there, and you look now that Phoenix does have a strong ult advantage. But look at Safe. I mean, literally farming this dragon right constantly. Nat, important note, Nat has switched off the Widowmaker over to the Sombra. a whole other type of menace entirely, and we'll have to see if the level of force is still there after that hero swap.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Sombra might be good at disabling that Wrecking Ball. CSPPP gonna get a little bit of a stun here, but the mines have been deployed, barely escaping with their life, but Dogfish has already taken Nat out. Dogfish does have the Deadeye in hand here. Good work out through the Transcendence. Okay, the res is coming online here. Goes in and finds two. The support line for Phoenix has been taken out of the equation completely. And now clvr are more than happy to just run over the rest of their teams, build up some of their ultimates, and get ready for this next fight.
Wow, spectating CSPPP there at the beginning, just the literal main tank experience of stuns coming out. How that minefield actually got out. But now we see Hog switching over to the Hog. Lots of counter switches coming out. You love to see it. Obviously wanting to shut down Cannon's Wrecking Ball a little bit. Max with that Flux coming online possibly could wait with the EMP, but that's a big hook by CSPP. Wide open the self-destruct.
Yeah, hey, that was an excellent self-destruct there. You could tell Phoenix had to back off for a second. Now, they're going in here and engaging all the ultimates online. Cannon already finding one onto Pen. Radiant Light gets the Nano again, sticks the Hog. Oh man, the nice fadeaway. You'll love to see that. And the EMP comes out, trying to stun up everybody, but fortunately, the damage might be done here. kaiju clvr more than happy to be in control of this cart. And just like that, what started out as an amazing offense gets shut down as kaiju now have a win condition established.
That was I feel like that was a very understated performance coming out from Radiant Light on the Tracer. And I think it really all starts there on the hold with JB getting the Nano off onto Radiant, which nanoing a Tracer, not always, I wouldn't say that's always your first option. Maybe not even your second option. But you see Radiant getting a ton of value with it, securing a lot of presence on the point, just really tanking up that Tracer, allows them to stall that fight. And then from there, Radiant really just goes to work on the Tracer, getting a ton of kills, getting a ton of value. And really, I feel like the two kind of go hand in hand, where Radiant really started being able to get kills, and that allowed Cannon to really synergize into that ball roll. And, it's like they say, success is the best medicine. Well, that's exactly what we saw there. They get a good stall, and the success of getting that stall, it kind of just continued to manifest, I feel like, into Radiant Light and Cannon finding that ball Tracer synergy. Dogfish coming out on the McCree, getting a ton of value. I mean, when you've got Felix playing the Diva, you're always getting a ton of value out of that role as well.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to see Radiant Light off the Tracer over to the Widow. We will get to maybe see... Looks like we're going to see a Widow 1v1. I don't think we got to see that at the beginning. Nat basically got to go unchecked in that regard. So this is going to be very interesting to start this off.
Yeah, this is going to be really... Okay, Radiant Light makes the swap back onto the Tracer. It's a good way to stall out the Widow. Just really put that pressure on here. Nat already set up.
We wanted that pretty bad, though.
Oh, of course. It's always entertaining Widow 1v1s, you know? But speaking of 1v1s, Cannon won out the 1v1 on the Wrecking Ball. Just going to give him a little bit of a slap from that machine gun in this ball form. Okay, now the pressure is coming in onto Nat. Nat has to back off here. This Cannon just laying it down. Goes into this back line, doesn't even care about that Discord Orb. Very bold, sir, but is able to escape here. As now, clvr, they're making their way forward. They've gotten past that first choke. These long sidelines are slowly being taken out. Meanwhile, Radiant Light just saw the Widow right there. He's being a little bit cautious here. Whoa, just escapes. Got to zip zap your way out of that one. And clvr are doing a good job of pushing that cart forwards here.
Right, and it's already a much better Cannon, a bit of a caster curse. I was about to shout out to Cannon for doing a much better job of pressuring Nat. But still, the point remains is that Nat's not getting the same amount of looks, and obviously it's difference between attack and defense. Meanwhile, the whole time I'm talking, Safe don't care. Safe just cleaning up, just popping off sonar arrows, getting kills on tracers, just the whole shebang, I guess.
Yeah, and Dogfish trying to even this one up a little bit, but really, it's been the DPS of Phoenix that have been shining. Radiant Light, though, able to take out the Beast in the back line here. JB gonna be just put that Wrecking Ball nice to sleep in the back line. And now they're going to be engaging in. Felix is going in aggressively as the res did come in to bring that Zenyatta back in. But still, Nat is getting pressured enough that the impact has not been there as of yet. Radiant getting the Nano yet again. Maybe looking around, but, well, Dogfish found a Pen with that Deadeye. Now Radiant just looking for the opportunity to stick. Is able to get it onto Max as Max flies up into the air, using that ult and burning it right to the ground. Now, Nat just trying to make something happen here, but it might be all but too late as Safe falls down as well. Just like that, Clover in a great position to get to point number 1.
And history repeats itself a little bit. I feel like this could be the start of a bit of a snowball for Clover here. Radiant taking a minute to heat up, but ultimately breaking open, and then you see all of a sudden it's strange. Radiant gets a bunch of kills, and now all of a sudden Dogfish cleaning up with the Cassidy, getting a ton of kills, finishing up that fight, and it's all kind of going back. This unorthodox nanoing of Tracer 2 that JB's pulling off, it's getting a ton of value. You love to see it. I mean, with Overwatch being out as long as it is, and we're still seeing this new stuff, this kind of bit of unorthodox stuff get a ton of value. You love it. That's why we play, right? This is huge.
Oh my goodness me, that's the first time I've ever seen a Mines get stunned out by a Cassidy. Dogfish a little bit upset about that one, gonna punish Nat for it. Self-destruct thrown in on the back line, no way you're gonna stall out that res. Meanwhile, Safe swapping onto the Soldier 76 has been having a field day. Nat as well onto this Cassidy. Complete swap up of the DPS line, but still being extremely effective at killing the enemy.
Having a hard time figuring out a hit scan or sniper role that Nat or Safe can't play. They're really kind of showing it all at this point. It's pretty excellent. See, and now that they've got this hold set up, Ball's able to really scout, and that's without the trades here. That's what you want CSPP to do here. You want him to be scouting, setting up, calling out what Nat and Safe can be shooting at, what Zen can be discording, all that good stuff, pressuring Radiant Light as they're trying to get disengaged. And you saw that's exactly what CSPPB does there. Well played. But what a huge ante, though.
Yeah, it definitely was, but honestly, good job. You kind of forced out the Pulse Bomb from Radiant Light, and Radiant Light's been doing a great job with those Pulse Bombs. Gotta watch out into the back line. Uh-oh, Mercy's gonna get her wings clipped. After popping the Valkyrie as well. Radiant Light trading that back onto CSPPB. The flash comes in. They're chasing him down, but Max is there for the assist. It will take out 2 for their effort. Penn gonna be bringing back CSPPB into the fight as Clover have to back off here, rethink their strategy.
I mean, and we're looking at 2 minutes 15 left in this round, and this is very dangerous territory for Clover. This is a very tough area to get stalled out at. This comp can set up on high ground, hold very well. As we saw there, Safe can get these really great off angles, get behind the team to use Tac Visor. We can see that the same way with Cassidy using Deadeye. I mean, all of this is just, it's very problematic right now for Clover.
It definitely is. Speaking of Deadeye, that's going to come on, and Copal falls down again. Cannon, though, ready for the punish. Cannon's just had Nat's number this entire time, making sure that they can't leave uninterrupted. Now a little bit of a dueling Wrecking Ball brawl on point. Dogfish popping the Deadeye, looking for something. They're gonna get rid of that one here. Shield extremely low. The flash goes in and is successful at getting a little bit of value here as Felix goes in, looking for the Baby Diva kill, but Max is taking Cannon out and Radiant Light as well. Phoenix still in a great position on this defense.
Was the flashbang, did it get value? Possibly no. Was it crafty? Absolutely. And so props for that. But as I said, this is a very tough area for Clover to break open. Adjustments will have to be made. We're seeing Dogfish, switching over to the Ash. Radiant Light has gone over, locking the legs, as it were, off of the Tracer. So now these picks, it'll give them the range to possibly fight against Phoenix a little bit more on their terms now.
Clover looking for an opportunity here. This is the Dynamite, just try and get a little bit more aggro damage as the tanks do go in there. Tactical Visor is going to be popped, going to find nothing but a giant Diva mech in front of him, and then the Baby just to follow up there. Phoenix doing a great job on the Soldier 76, and now the clock is running out for Clover. They've only got 30 seconds left.
I mean, that's a huge pick, too, because you lose so much with Diva. But now CSPP going to add insult to injury there, too, and just kind of get that finish-up kill. That stagger, that's just slowing stuff down, too. We're going to be looking at probably an overtime touch if Clover wants to get numbers up. Now, they will get that res off. That will be huge for getting a quicker touch. Cannon's underneath, though, and this will be, if anyone notices them, this could be huge. Big minefield coming out.
Yeah, Trans will shut that down. The Trans is just going to get rid of all of that. Meanwhile, the Flux coming in as well, going to lift him up and drop him down. Not too much damage in here, but it's okay because Dogfish has already lost the long-range duel. Right now, Safe has just been tearing up the team. Nat in the back line throws out, and it's all coming up. Phoenix on the kill feed. Hey, Deadeye, just for good measure, Cannon going to be falling down. And just like that, Phoenix are going to shut down Kaiju Core Clover, as they're going to tie up our series now 1-1.
Yeah, that was absolutely impressive coming out from Phoenix, doing a great job there, playing to their strengths there on that B segment, holding the high grounds, playing the off angles, using the range where they had it. Excellent play coming out from both teams when they're playing the comps that they're strong at. We
Yes.
saw, when we saw Phoenix playing these ball comps, playing this a little bit more mobility, getting a little bit more open area, getting out of these control maps, we saw a lot more just overall synergy, just a lot more of them basically getting to play their game. Meanwhile, when we saw that brawl aspect of Clover, they look absolutely unstoppable. But when the map opens up, when you're having to play these more mobile comps, when you're having to look at the rec ball, and that's the thing, that's the confusing part, is that I think Cannon did a great job. I mean, Nat got a ton of
Mhm.
value on the attack. That much is certain. The value from Widow was absolutely huge off angles. Nat got to do whatever she wanted. But then you go to that defense, Cannon on the ball, completely shutting down Nat's angles,
Yeah.
completely shutting down the Widow, really made that role a lot more hard, a lot more difficult. And so you look at that, that's a lot of good things to look at, but it just doesn't come together. It doesn't synergize. So now going into this map 3, going into this hybrid map that we're going into, a map that of course King's Row's on the table. I have, with it being Clover's pick, you have to imagine we got to be going to Scrim's Row. We have to be seeing Cannon back on this Reinhardt. And I, for one, that's what we need to see. I think if you're Clover, all our Clover fans out there, we need to see Cannon on this Reinhardt getting that value. Felix playing that brawl style diva, doing what she do best. That's what we need on the Clover side. And that's what's gonna possibly push them back ahead in this series. Meanwhile, Phoenix, getting out of that control aspect, getting into this more hybrid scenario, does that change the communication? Does that change the synergy? Can you compete with Clover's brawl now? This is all things that we're basically looking at.
Yep. And well, we're going to have to find out just after a short break, as these teams are going to be getting themselves ready. We're not too sure which map we are going to be locked in here, but you're going to want to make sure to stick around because right now it's all tied up 1-1. No 3-0 sweep today. So we'll see you in a bit just after these messages. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the Hyperion Cup, everybody. We've got Kaiju Core Clover up against Phoenix. It is 1-1 in our series. Kaiju Core Clover starting off extremely strong, but Phoenix kind of clapping back here. As Lemon Pepper, we're now going to map number 3, and where else but King's Row?
Could it be anywhere else? It couldn't
No.
is the answer. And now we get to see possibly more of Cannon on Reinhardt. We get to see, does Phoenix have an answer for the brawl of Kaiju Clover? Because it's Scrimsrow. You got to see it. I mean, you can run other comps, but why would you? I mean, it's Scrimsrow. Play the Reinhardt. And when you've got a main tank like Cannon that showed just how dominant they can be
Oppressive
with
even.
the proper absolutely an excellent way to describe it. When given the right resources too, when you've got Radiant Light playing roles like that May, you've got JB, Copel, that great support line just doing what they do, keeping that Reinhardt up. It's no small feat, believe me. I've been on both sides, the Reinhardt and the support line. It's not easy on anyone, but Clover make it look good. And so if they can pull that off on Kings Road, they could go back ahead in the series. But we are looking at a different map type. This is hybrid. This is Kings Row. This is a team. I mean, every team's got to have a brawl ready for this. So Phoenix could have an answer. You have to imagine. And we're not even accounting for the quirky strats we could see, the bastions and the symmetras, the fun shenanigans, all the good things. I mean, all the little wrenches you can throw into the mix. I mean, God forbid we get a bastion on the point rolling through. Like, good grief, that would be exactly what we needed to see. I want to see it. I mean, we're in 2022. Let's see some more pirate ship. Let's bring it back. Why not? It's a thing. People still do it.
You just call out that you want to see more pirate ship?
Bring on the pirate. I mean, speak truthfully. When is the last time you saw a pirate ship comp in one of these matches?
I mean, it's been a long time, but there's a reason for that.
I mean, I've seen more Roadhog comps than I've seen Bastion comps. It's but I digress. Speaking of, we do have Cannon on the Roadhog, perhaps only for the moment. Meanwhile, the defense of Phoenix looking much more traditional. You've got Max on that Reinhardt CSPPP on the. I want to say CS triple P now or something like that. I don't know, but those 3 Ps, they're getting me. You've got the May Cassidy coming out, Lucio Bap, very standard brawl comp coming out for this. And then meanwhile, Cannon has gone over to the Reinhardt. We're getting a mirror brawl here, and you love to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be which team brawls better here already. Phoenix with an interesting strat. They're hanging out in the bottom line there, noticing that absent Reinhardt, and now they're coming from behind. Cannon didn't see that one coming. Shout out to the Immortality Field just to keep him back into the fight here. Enough time to actually get healed up as well, so the surprise attack thwarted for now, but still, Clover, they have to make their way around here. They're going to be going around, wrapping through Hotel, trying to get in the damage. Cannon effortlessly just rolling through there. Oh, stops the shatter preemptively here as Max gets frozen up, but Cannon has already fallen down, and now Max is going in for the kill, pins Dogfish, and just like that, it's all falling apart for Clover, and they're gonna have to try this one again.
That was some great Reinhardt play from Max as well. Really just playing the advantage, playing the corners, just understanding where you need to be on the main tank, and then from there, now that's setting up Phoenix for an excellent defense. You see a great stagger coming out. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that for your first defense out. You've got CSPPP coming online with that self-destruct. Nat coming online with Deadeye. Freeze is not far behind. Amplification measures, a lot of great ults. Meanwhile, Cannon not far away from a shatter. Radiant Light about to have that freeze. You've got amplification measures as well on the attack, but first amplification measures coming out is for Phoenix.
Yeah, and it kind of got lost between 2 May walls. Now the shatter online for Cannon. Oh, went in for the charge and got caught in the explosion. It was actually Nat that gets the kill there, and now we're seeing dueling blizzards come in, but it might be a little too late for Clover here. Still trying to contest this out, but they're falling down. Phoenix holding this point stronger, showing them that they do have a little bit of gas in the tank when it comes to these brawl comps.
And I think that might have been a bit of a premature ult expenditure coming out from Clover there. You lose out on the freeze. You've got a bunch of other ults online. You've now got an ult advantage. You could have had a bigger ult advantage. You could have really pressed it here. Meanwhile, Deadeye, that's really all you've got coming out. And it's just dueling ults back and forth.
Yeah, Nat wins out that Deadeye battle if you ask me. Finding a 3 there. I also count the back 2. Yeah, that still counts here. And
Count
Phoenix, 1 ult, and they're looking pretty.
Count them. We are gracious casters. We'll count them. Absolutely. Meanwhile, though, you've got Phoenix now sitting on with that sound barrier. You've got a great shatter. You know, you've got a lot of resource here to keep holding up this defense. Felix getting back in the mech. No ults really besides self-destruct on the horizon for Clover. And now they've got to look at a dry fight possibly here. And that's a great wall coming out from Full.
You got to look up, otherwise you're going to see a hammer knocking you silly. And Max is actually knocking the rest of the team silly. Taking the thing back and forth, and now we're seeing that stall come in yet again. But speaking of oppressive earlier, Phoenix looking absolutely dominant right now on this defense.
Absolutely, and props to Clover though. You get that fight out of the way. You promptly in it. I mean, even the stagger that they got on Felix was relatively minimal. I mean, all things considered. Now you've got Mayfreeze coming out online. You've got Beast with that amplification matrix. Still a lot of ults on the side for Phoenix that you've got to get past if you're Clover.
Yeah, walking right through that amplification matrix, ready to take this fight. Has to throw down the immortality field there. Pen falling down first. Now an amplification matrix of their own as Felix just finds Nat with the explosion. And finally Clover able to stabilize themselves. Only 20 seconds left on the clock, but they will get point number 1.
Yes, and they broke that open with minimal ults too committed. So really a great overall fight, able to finally get this rolling. And now they're really going to have a great street space here. They've got to make up for that time lost there because they've only got 2.5 minutes left in the bank.
Yeah, you can see just trading blows right now, trying to build up those ultimates right now. Oh boy, Clover got a lot in their pocket. Phoenix are getting close to a couple of their own. See how
and this is really good for Clover. I mean they've got 3 very huge ults up, and they can really push forward. They need to ult early here because you see that freeze on the horizon. The first ult's going. Oh, what a shatter!
It's huge, comboed with the high noon. Oh, but Max comes up bigger. Finds 1, and then Earth shatters down, finding 2. The Blizzard was committed as well. It's all but too late here. Phoenix are slowing them down once again. Dogfish in the backline trying to find a little bit of value. Gets blocked off by an ice wall. And just like that, they stop the move forward from Clover here. Okay, Dogfish was able to get 1, but will be falling down, and Lucio can speed back relatively easily.
Well, Max's shatter was clean, but these fights have almost been anything but. I mean, lots of ults committed on either side. You're seeing lots of mirrors, and these mirror ultimate fights, these very, you know, big explosive fights, they keep benefiting the defense. They keep benefiting the side of Phoenix. And now we're going to see if Clover can use a bit of crafty rotation to really turn the tide here on the streets.
Oh,
again, what a May wall.
Yeah, High Noon going to be used as well from Nat. See, oh, and there goes Radiant Light. No Blizzard for you today. Just like that, Phoenix, they're moving forwards. They want the kills here. Dogfish barely getting out of that one alive, but I can't say the same for the rest of the team as Phoenix are chasing them back all the way to the spawn. 1 minute left on the clock.
And this is getting very risky now for Clover. This street space, they needed to get going here. I mean, this is not far at all for an attack for Phoenix. And now you're looking at really just amplification makes, but this is a huge self-destruct coming out early. And it gets 2! You never see that!
That's the Blizzard again! That's gonna be that ultimate taken out of this fight. Phoenix chasing them all the way back to the spawn doors right now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Clover, they have to figure out a strategy, and they have to figure it out quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, that bomb just shut everything down fast. Now, ultimately, you do have Felix in a bit of a crafty position. I don't think that Phoenix, well, May's looking up there. They might know Felix is up there already, but at least the setup's there. You've got the high ground. You've got a great position to take this now. They're going to get to jump down on point. That was a great wall to stop that amplification matrix.
Self-destruct going into the back line there, able to take out the immortality field as Radiant Light finds Nat. There's still life in them yet, waiting out that defense matrix here, looking for an opportunity. The shatter comes down, does find 3, but it's all but for naught. Kaiju win out the ultimate battle here. And just like that, they're going to roll this one forward, but Clover are living on overtime right now. Phoenix, they will have one more chance to pre-contest this, and Clover cannot step off the point even for a second at this rate.
I feel like this is another aspect of Clover that we don't often mention, at least I haven't so far this season, is the fact that they were renowned for the fact that they cannot be beaten in overtime. They know how to contest a point. They know how to maintain a stall. They do this very well. So this fight is not over until you can get everyone on point. What an eat coming out from Felix, and that's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
And it looks like some of that Clover magic is coming true right now. In pure overtime fashion, they're finding all of the kills that they need, as they will be able to take this point number 2 as long as they get rid of that big old mech. A little bit of a Cassidy in front of them, no problem there. Huge eat coming in here as they get to point number 2, still alive in it, and there's 1 minute and 30 seconds for them to complete King's Row.
Man, oh man, as soon as that overtime bar starts heating up, Kaiju Clover turns into Kaiju 4-leaf Clover. I mean, that's literally what happened. Every time, these guys are so hard to beat when the chips are against them, when they're in overtime, when they've got one hand tied behind their back because they can't leave the point, they can't do any sort of positioning.
Ooh.
It's a big shatter.
The shatter comes in, but gets stopped and then the Deadeye finds Cannon, and just like that, once again, without that main tank, they're gonna have to back off here. Seems like they want that 4-leaf Clover luck to come true once again, because it is likely we will be pushed into overtime right now, Lemon Pepper.
And fortunately, they do have the ults to combat this, but I mean, at this point, you have to know you're living on the edge. You're living by the sword, dying by the sword. This is a big Deadeye coming out. Dogfish taking out CSPP. They're huge.
Yeah, and here we go. We're all trying to stop out this amplification matrix here, but Max gets caught up in it, and now the Blizzard comes down as well as they find the Baptiste in the back line. Now Cannon going to be marching things forward here. Well, immediately gets stunned out, but then the defensive ice wall, a little bit of miscoordination, a little bit of isolation coming in right now. Phoenix, though, they still have this Blizzard in hand, safe, looking for an opportunity to use it. This could change things around. He has to be careful about Felix in the back line, but it's going to be a shatter. Now would have been the time to throw down the Blizzard, but they keep it in hand. They think that they can win this out, finally dropping it down, as well as the sound barrier. Now looking for a high noon opportunity. Cannon falling down. The mech gets taken out as well. Dogfish now trying to keep this alive. Has the 1v1 a Diva mech, able to win that battle out. We are into overtime once again. Clover looking for the magic to pay off. Dogfish might be the one to deliver it here right now, but finally Safe turns that around. Amplification Matrix dropped in, but Max is on the other side. And finally Phoenix shut that one down, but wow. Clover almost turned that one around and were able to win out the map.
I mean, if you subtract the distance that was achieved in overtime, I mean, Clover's still back basically just through the bridge on the streets, like basically just starting out street space. I mean, that's what it really boils down to. I mean, nothing was really happening until overtime for Clover. So the fact that they've made it this far, they've given themselves a win condition where previously, I mean, before all of this really started happening, basically the last, I don't know, 2-3 minutes of their attack, you know, they really now given themselves a bit of a cushion, a bit of a win condition. But the defense coming out from Phoenix has been incredibly impressive. CSPPP getting I have to go back to it. That early self-destruct that they got early there, I'm a little bit bitter about that. I try that in my scrims all the time, and all I ever get is yelled at by my teammates. Like, I never get the double kill. I just get yelled at. So I mean,
fair, I think that was actually credit to the Cassidy, because I think that the shield did come up from Cannon to try and stop the damage, but then the flash grenade did come out, stunned him up, and suddenly, boom, double kill right at the spawn doors.
You're telling me it's my teammates' fault?
Uh-oh, what have I done?
Perfect. I've got it. I understand now. So I have validation. I have caster validation, teammates. All right. Enough shenanigans, though. We've got Cannon on the brawl defense with the rest of Clover. Dogfish on that creep. We're doing this standard brawl right back at you, mirror for both sides. We're going to run it back one more time, just switching up the sides.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, the wall comes up. The wall going to be met against it. Nat trying to find a little bit of value with that flash grenade, not able to find it. Immortality field already spent here for Phoenix, so Kaiju Corp will have that advantage there. Cannon. Shield falling a little bit low here, not too big of a deal. Still able to press things forward, but still nothing too much coming out of both these teams just quite yet, Lemon.
It's impressive May play coming out so far, but that's a big flash on the Cannon. But still, again, great defensive play coming out from Clover as not a single one died. The May walls have been completely on point for both teams. Ooh. Finally, CSPP is going to take down Cannon, and that's got to be a release valve now for Phoenix.
You would think so, but here comes the amplification matrix. CSPPP gets frozen up by a stun grenade, but it's all good. CSPPP just absolutely turning this
cleaning up
to 12. And well,
I have to point it out before it changes. No one has been on the kill feed except CSPPP yet so far in this attack. Yeah, it's just been him. I haven't seen anybody else. He killed Cannon. He got the final shot on Cannon, and it's just been Diva cleaning up. Which, I mean, we know the value of Diva, but that's impressive.
It absolutely is. Now Phoenix moving things forwards yet again. Oh, have to be careful about that shield there, Max. It's running extremely low on HP. Still though, excellent positioning right now by Phoenix. We can see that Clover want to take this fight here. They're just doing their best to stall things down. Max just absolutely taking the brunt of it. Has that Shatter looking for an opportunity, but the High Noon comes online as Cannon takes one out. Oh, Soundbreaker comes in as well, but Dogfish finding two. Cuts down the DPS and the back line. JB actually had the alley-oop right there as well. And, well, Clover finally get a foot in the ground.
And not a moment too soon. I mean, you look at this time bank, it's still very high, but being able to stop here in the streets, being able to use this choke point, you hypothetically, you get 2 more choke angles after this one. So now you're in a position to really whittle down this time bank. You've got Cannon with that Earth Shatter. You've got you got Freeze, you got Amplification Matrix, as we see right now. A lot of ults now for Clover.
Ooh, and Safe falls down first. Now a Blizzard is going to be coming in. Phoenix are able to get out of that one, but Radiant Light has CSPPP in their sights. Want to make sure that they take them out, seeing how the damage went last time around. And Clover, they're going to be holding at these double doors. They want to actually give Phoenix a little bit of taste of their own medicine, rushing them back to spawn this time. But still, very healthy time bag for Phoenix right now.
Yeah, you're still no worries if you're Phoenix. In fact, save up, wait half a beat, let the beast get that amplification, make sure they get 6 in. But what a huge shatter by Cannon! He gets a third, but Max is wow.
Oh man, speak of a glass cannon right there. Able to take out so much, but falling down so quickly. Doesn't matter. Clover, hey, Cannon, you did your work. We appreciate you for that. And just like that, hey, back to the defense.
Sometimes that's all it takes for a main tank. Just kill enough of them before you die. I mean, that's my favorite style of main tank play, in fact. The one that involves me dying a lot, apparently. I mean, that's at least what my stats say. But now, as we see Phoenix, they're taking this off angle. They're going to try and change it up a little bit, not running it down mid as per usual. Nats is going to get a nice angle on that down. The Baywall just elevates them to new heights. But now, forced to jump down. CSPV, what a nice kill on that amplification matrix. Immortality field, excuse me.
Yeah, putting the High Noon right there. Blizzard is going to be coming out as well. Dogfish going to be using a High Noon of their own. Going to be contested with this Diva mech. Able to just use that to take that out. Shatter happened in the back line. Able to find a 3 there. As Max is going to be flexing a little bit on Cannon. And just like that, Phoenix are going to be able to walk this one forwards. They did lose a Nat in this fight, but not too big of a deal. These walls have just been missing by an inch. But that's more than enough if you're Phoenix. Dogfish, you got to get out of there, buddy. It's not looking too good for you, but still. Not over yet, Clover. They'll have plenty of opportunities to reconnect.
And I don't like that bit of self-stagger there from Dogfish. Either get out or die faster to get with your team to get a more proper reset. Because now you're losing an opportunity at possibly getting one of these corner holds, and now you're basically having to fight right in front of the checkpoint. Because now you've allowed them to get set up, and now you're still waiting for the reset. You're just now getting back to the position. So possibly a quicker reset there once the fight was lost from Clover, and you could possibly be fighting on this corner instead of at your checkpoint.
Okay, here we go. The Blizzard is going to be committed here. CSPPP finding Cannon. Max gets traded out as well. Kaiju Core Clover, they're going to be moving things through right now with the ultimate advantage, and it's working out for them. Dogfish being very oppressive on this Cassidy, looking for that final pick onto Pen. They're able to escape here, but they're Mayball doing a great job of isolating things. Goes in for a flash grenade, but it's traded back with another flash grenade to try and slow down the momentum here. And just like that, they will get that reset here. Still minute 30 on the clock, but Clover has stabilized their defense just a bit.
Well, they didn't make it easy for themselves, but ultimately they do get the hold there. Now they're set up on this corner with Cannon with a nice Earth Shatter. Dogfish getting an early High Noon out now.
Looking for it.
Again, the Maywall is elevating to new heights, but again, great avoidance there from Phoenix. And now, Deadeyes galore!
Man, are we in an old Western movie right now? Because it seems like that's kind of the case
Western.
All right, Blizzard is going to be thrown out. Maybe we're actually into the thing. Everything's looking nice and icy. A Cannon dropping down the Earth Shatter. Doesn't find too many in the backline as CSPPP once again pulls out the mop and wipes the floor with Clover here. Still Cannon able to find Pen, but might have gone a little bit too far into enemy lines. Max gonna be finding the trade onto that. Amplification Matrix just dropped to try and stall this one out. Self-destruct in the backline here, but CSPPP does not care. He's got murder on the mind and is gonna be going right for it. Dealing with a little bit of a pesky Lucio, but that's gonna be point number 2 for Phoenix. Just under 30 seconds on this clock.
This is still a big victory for Clover. They're going now into this final stage with only having to hold for under 2 minutes, whereas there was like 5 minutes when this straight phase started. So this is a big time bank depletion for Clover. Meanwhile, though, I mean CSPPP is running unchecked on the Diva. This is allowing Nat and the rest of Phoenix so much room to work.
Oh, Max goes in for the pin, gets pinned himself. But still, Self-Destruct was tossed in the back line. Didn't find too much value there. Oh, Cannon unleashes the Earth Shadow right into Max's shield. Now a Deadeye is going to be used by Nat. Finds Copal off onto a wall. Now looking for the kill onto this Mei, but the Ice Block comes in just in time to keep them alive. But how long can it preserve life? Well, turns out for an eternity. Here, oh, Safe falls down. Or sorry, Safe doing the kills right now. CPP got credited for it, but froze up Cannon in the front line. And while Phoenix are going to be moving things forward, they know exactly where their win condition is, and they're getting really darn close, Lemon.
Safe's walls have been absolutely primo so far this entire King's Row. I mean, the Mei walls have been great from both teams, but Safe's have been a cut above, to be honest. And now you look in a great hiding position, going to be able to get this freeze. Felix is going to have the work cut out for him to try and eat this.
Oh, the Blizzard and the High Noon come in. Oh, CSPPP almost fell down, but able to fly back in. Meanwhile, Safe finds a 3. Excuse me, Safe? I think that might have been the nail in the coffin for
I think you're right.
Here. Their luck has run out against Phoenix, as the Phoenix are rising from the ashes, coming back, and now it is a 2-1 in this series.
Yeah, they've after a very compelling Nepal map for Clover, this has really turned big time into Phoenix's favor, and none more so. It's not more so relevant than here in King's Row. I mean, you're playing the brawl. This is what they were winning on. This is what Clover was winning on in Nepal. This was what they were good with. And you come in here and very much in a statement fashion, play the brawl very well. You've got Safe playing that Mei at such a high level. I mean that was a very big victory, and that's a big demoralizer, I have to say, if you're Clover. I'd have to imagine so, because I mean you kind of just got beat by at your own game there, on your own map, on your own comp. So you put all that together, and this is a lot to come back from now for Clover. More than just a 2-1 deficit, it's a mental deficit as well of what do we do now? Where do we go from here? What can we use to kind of turn the tide? Meanwhile, if you're Phoenix, I mean, you're sitting pretty, man. You've got a Diva player in CSPPP that's going completely unchecked. Radiant Light is looking great on everything they touch. I mean, it's looking overall very strong for that team. Max, there was a bout there. I mean, great defensive Reinhardt's play. Cannon and Max were getting great shatter blocks. Both were landing shatters. You saw Cannon with that insane double shatter kill. I mean, you put all that together. It's great performances from both sides, and it's just more coordinated and a more nuanced sort of performance coming out from Phoenix right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I also too wanted to highlight the DPS coming in from Phoenix right now. They're really turning things up. You know, we've seen Safe. Well, we've seen Nat on the Widowmaker, but Safe actually coming in really big on the Mei. But we have our next map here. If Phoenix win this one out, they could take this one home. And Lemon Pepper, you see what it is. I see what it is.
Do you see what I see?
We're going to
and
the moon.
Do I love to see it? To the moon. Oh my gosh, I had to make sure I wasn't being too loud. I'm a little too hyped right now. I get to cast on the first night of it, and I get to see it. Horizon Lunar Colony. Take me there. We are going home. You love to see it. Fly me to the moon. Well said, Oakley in production. Oh man. I'm giddy over here. Marks, I am giddy over here. I'm flabbergasted. I'm excited. Oh my god. No,
we've got very unfortunate news. Unfortunately, we are not going to the moon.
Felix, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that. That was uncalled for. That was unnecessary.
Ready to see some
astronauts? I felt like I've been very supportive overall, and you do me dirty like this, Felix. It hurts.
I was just about to say, Lemon. I was like, I have
ripped out from under me. I'm hurting now. I'm hurting.
I have no idea what compositions teams could even really run on Horizon Lunar Colony. Because it's been so long. It's been so long.
Well,
Oh,
You could
boy.
say that as a player or as a caster, I've been waiting for this day. I've been very ready for this day. Horizon Lunar Colony is a fun map. It's a shame we're not going there though.
Yes.
We must look ahead to the map at hand. We have Volskaya.
Yeah.
Not quite as fun, however, still 2 CP. And that's what really matters.
Yes.
So now, going into 2 CP, I think this is ultimately as much as I want to play Horizon Lunar Colony, as much as I want to see it, as much as I wanted that to happen, I think this is a much better map choice for Clover, given what they have, given that you need a good Reinhardt comp, given that you need to be able to change stuff up, possibly run some double bubble here. I think this ultimately gives them a chance to maybe get some different looks in there. And if all else fails, put Cannon on the Reinhardt, let him go to work, put those resources into him, and just GG go next after King's Row. So
Yeah.
ultimately, this is a smart pick from Clover. Meanwhile, Phoenix, I mean, there's nothing really. I feel like if you're Phoenix, you're not worried about the map pick. I mean, you've shown, they've Clover's shown their hand at this point, and you've shown theirs and yours, and your hand is that you can play the brawl on these non-control maps. You can hold your own against it. You can come out on these mobile comps. You can get the value, and then you can kind of just do work. So at this point, you feel really good if you're Phoenix, and you can basically roll out with whatever you need to address what Clover's doing, and basically make them beat you at this point.
Yes. I think the big thing right now is why Phoenix is running away with this is because they have players that are running unchecked. We talked about CSPPP in the
Agreed.
last map going absolutely insane on the Diva, but also too, not going on just the Cassidy, or actually safe on the May, and they're not checking these
Safe
players.
on the map before. You've got Nat on the Widow unchecked. I think that is possibly the issue that might be the kind of underlying problem right now with Clover, with having Cannon on the main tank, whereas you're used to someone like your main tank player being Glitch, who is a traditional main tank. They know the comms there. Cannon is a projectile DPS player. A lot of times these comm styles aren't going to translate well. I mean, and they could. I don't know the comm structure of Clover. It
Mhm.
could transfer well. However, you have to think that someone like Glitch, especially when Glitch is on the Wrecking Ball, he's going to be spotting out a lot of these offhand, because a lot of these people that are going unchecked, and he's going to be doing something more to address that. So that could be a potential thing that Phoenix has realized, and they've been able to take advantage. It might just be a play style, a positive matchup that kind of happened organically. Either way, you're absolutely right, though. That is what's happening, is that you've got unchecked performances from key players on Phoenix, and that has been the difference maker so far.
Let's see which difference makers are going to be shining on this map now. Phoenix poised to take this one tonight. They win out on this map. Meanwhile, Kaiju Core Clover, we want to tie this up. Bring out that map number 5. It's not over yet. Still an interesting composition. This time, they're opting for the dive here.
Yeah, Clover on that Reaper Tracer variant of 6, man. Whereas, Phoenix on this standard brawl comp that they were just running on King's Row, more of the same from them.
Yeah, well, Cannon looking like a little bit of a loose cannon right there. Gets taken out by CSPPP once again. You got to do something about this Diva, and going into this small room is not where you want to be taking this brawl here. Dogfish getting frozen up and stunned up, and the Lucio just to finish things off here, but Phoenix are more than happy to hold that W key. They've got the Microsoft keyboard and are making it work. They have an extremely good performance here, but Radiant Light in the back line is able to pick Nat off. Could give them an opportunity here. The respawn advantage definitely favoring Clover, already building up to that pulse bomb here.
Yeah, I think Radiant Light is really going to have to be the difference maker here on Clover right now. I think the Tracer's going to have to go into the back line. It's really going to have to sort of make things happen, force the issue to give Clover an in here, because this brawl from Phoenix is very impressive, and you've got Safe now ready online with that freeze. Huge shatter! My word, that was big from Max.
But yeah, okay, they're just going to follow up on that one. Max falling extremely low, but it's not too big of a deal. Able to get those heals, and yeah, Clover are going to have to walk this one back and try again. That completely got dismantled by that Earth Shatter.
Yeah, that was a great pickup there by the Beast, too, on the map there, making sure that Max able to stay alive, stay sustained throughout that whole fight. But yeah, again, impressive brawl coming out. I mean, you've got ultimates coming online too. You've got, when you're able to, basically get out of with a good fight win with just 2 ults, you're pretty happy with that. Meanwhile, Cannon switching over to the Reinhardt. We're going to get the brawl. Dogfish still on the Reaper. Radiant Light has gone over to the Mace. So now, more traditional brawl mirror.
Yeah, but Nat taking Cannon out is not how you want to start this one. All right, Nat just plunking in the damage at the backline. There's a Reaper walking around, but that's not too big of a deal right now. Not getting enough value out of those shotguns there. So self-destruct can be invested into this fight. Nat just caught in a rock in a hard place. And okay, Dogfish, I'm sorry I said that about you. You can get a nice little 3K. Just like that, clvr are poised to take point number 1 as soon as Safe falls down. And just like that, beautiful team kill.
Dogfish with a friendly reminder that the caster curse does work both ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be caster curse. It could be the reverse caster blessing, as we see there. Now, looks like Dogfish will be going over to the McCree, going to get that range as we go over to this point B. And this point B is tricky here. It's very tough to take. It's very easy to lock down. Snowballing, you have to think, is very important, but that's not really going to be a factor here, as you're really looking at kind of a minimal ult economy coming out for clvr. Meanwhile, Nat going to start this off early with the Deadeye, and that's kind of a bit of a trademark from Nat so far this series.
Yeah, Nat's been generating these Deadeyes left and right. I swear, every single team fight, there's another Deadeye being popped.
Hey, if you got them, flaunt them, right?
Exactly, Darren. Well, now they're going to be marching their way on point here. You can see so much damage coming through, but Radiant Light's going to be the first one to fall down. The Blizzard gets invested here. Cannon kept alive artificially, but as soon as that Amplification Matrix falls down, it's going to be nothing but icicles flying in from Safe. And even with that amplification, the sound barrier, it's not enough to keep clvr alive as they get headed back to spawn.
And Phoenix is doing an excellent job of cycling their ults as well. You'll notice minimal ults used there in that fight. You've still got Max with the Earthshatter. You still got the Beast with the Amplification Matrix. 2 ults that go well in a team fight. You can coordinate them well together. Maybe not use them together per se. And then you look, you've got CSPPP, Nat, Pin, all with ults coming online. Meanwhile, clvr though, this could be a big fight for them. This is looking like a winnable fight. You've got Self-Destruct, you've got the May Freeze, Amplification Matrix. Cannon's going to have that shatter here very soon. This is a fight that you have to think clvr wants to take here.
Yeah, and we can already see Cannon gets isolated so well here. Gonna be falling down to CSPPP, who else but the D.Va, and now they're gonna be walking things forward. Nat falling down to Dogfish, but Max still wants to take this offensive, might have overextended there, as Felix finds the kill there. Now Dogfish using the Deadeye in the back line, just waiting things out, almost finds it, but a nice wall is gonna keep the team alive. Dogfish looking for a little bit of revenge though, gonna be trying to get some of these exits now, but still, a lot of ultimates in both teams' pockets.
Yeah, and that was very smart of clvr. They don't commit a lot of ults there. They keep a lot of stuff safe. However, in this situation, any fight in that is also a chance for Phoenix to get back into the ult economy. And you see, they didn't commit a lot of ults there. They kept the shatter. They kept they kept the shatter, and now the other 3 have now come online, and now we're back to an even fight game basically with our ults.
And here we go, yet another Deadeye gonna be caught off by the wall this time. Gonna quickly walk around that, but just eaten up by that defense matrix. Max, meanwhile, found 2 already. Oh, and giving Cannon. All right, everyone's going for a little bit of a drink down in Russia, but that works out because of the respawn advantage very heavily favoring Phoenix here. Sound barrier just to keep everybody else alive, make sure they can't get anything. And a couple of ultimates spent there, but still, looking like it's going well for Phoenix right now.
It is going well. clvr, though, they're having to play this patiently, and they're doing it well at the moment. They're working some of these ults out. They're keeping their important ults. They're giving themselves a chance to, even though the time's running out, they're giving them a chance to ultimately secure a fight win here that'll ultimately maybe let them get a cap here on B. They're keeping the right ultimates in track, though, and that's what you'll have to see. Meanwhile, Phoenix, though, they're setting up a good defense. They've got Safe with Freeze. Beast, seems like I'm constantly saying Beast has Amplification Matrix online. CSPP, Max, Tank ults online as well. This is still great defensive territory if you're Phoenix.
Absolutely. All set up on the high ground, ready to pounce when necessary. You see the Amplification Matrix starting things off here. CSPPP going to go in deep here. Max, though, finds JB in the backline. Going to pop the self-destruct here. CSPPP finds 2. Lemon Pepper, you don't see that every day. Going to hop right back into that mech. And now there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. Potentially one more opportunity here for clvr to get a little bit of progress on this point.
CSPPP making a strong MVP candidate case here in what could be our final map if Phoenix keep playing the defense the way this is. They're setting themselves up for a very nice win condition. I keep saying it though, Clover, they're keeping the right ults on lane. They're setting themselves up. We know they love to perform in overtime. They've got the ults to do it here. But oh man, that's your stall gone right there. The Beast taking him out early. Big shatter from Max. He was behind him. Pin's got the double kill.
Oh, you hate to see that. Radiant Light, though, able to find one. Gets traded back. The trades are going in favor right now of the defense. Dogfish, last person on the point. Overtime's going to just burn down. No overtime magic coming out this time from Kaiju Corp Clover. As now, a very clear win condition for Phoenix has been established, and they can send Clover packing.
And there in that overtime, it really just you felt it there for Clover. Just a day late and a dollar short, basically. You know, just the stuff didn't quite fall into place when they needed it to. You know, the Beast taking down Copel very early in that fight. I mean, all that stuff together. CSPPP, man. I mean, putting on a clinic so far on the Diva, doing a lot, making life terrible on the side of Dogfish with that hit scan roll. I mean, just really causing a lot of trouble. Now you're looking at Phoenix really with a chance to walk away, secure this. You know, at least stall out the scoreline, because I mean, this is, if not winnable, at least very drawable at this point.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. I'm curious to see how this defense is going to work. Looks like Cannon going to be on the Wrecking Ball this time around. Dogfish coming out on the Ashe. Radiant Light, meanwhile, on the Echo as well. This seems like it's going to be a little bit of a poke from afar and then clean up the rest with Echo and Wrecking Ball composition. I'm going to be curious to see how it goes, because this is a completely new look for Kaiju Corp Clover right now, Lemon.
Right, and the defensive ball comp, I mean, it provides a lot of mobility. You're not really going to have a very stationary presence. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Dogfish and JB, just because they have the least mobility of anyone on the team. Dogfish at least has the coach kind of get out. Meanwhile, tried and true Brawl tank line coming out, support line coming out for Phoenix. You do have this double hit scan, Cassidy and Soldier 76 on the attack, and that's a little different.
Yeah, and look at that. The flanking soldier actually already getting some value here. Dogfish getting a little bit contested. They're gonna get that. Oh, then they can't find. Can't find the kill on the safe. Safe escapes. Okay, finally Cannon is able to punish that one. But look at this. Already, they've established their dominance on point, and it's gonna be up to Cannon to try and stall this one out. Everyone plays from afar except for this Wrecking Ball and Echo. Felix able to T-Max CSPPP. CSPPP gonna be walking back there, just trying to get some percentage back. Dogfish, meanwhile, found Nat. Max looking in all directions, but the pressure's coming in from all above. It's gonna come out for Kaiju Corp Clover right now. They push Phoenix back. Successful defense here.
Yes, and the ball paying dividends too. I mean, that's exactly how you want to play it. Cannon playing very mobile, understanding what this comp needs to do here, and this is looking at the very least promising for Clover. Meanwhile, not really a lot of ults to speak of. Bit of a comp switch coming out. Max gone over to that Winston. You do have Nat going over to the Sombra. So, you know, very interesting. Beast also to the Moira, going to this very unorthodox, a lot of these comps for Phoenixes, where it looks like 6-man, but it's not quite 6-man. You got the Soldier 76 in there. Obviously to combat Radiant Light on the Echo, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and to be fair, just getting a lot of value on that Soldier 76. You can tell how pesky it is, but Pen already falling down. JB is going to get hacked up here. Oh, there we go. Safe finds Dogfish. Now the Winston is coming in onto this back line. Radiant using the Beam of Death to try and finish that one up. Unable to secure the kill there. But still, Kaiju Corp nice and healthy. Now, duplication going to be online. Another Diva enters into this fight. Already trying to build it up. This is going to allow for a little bit more stall presence as well. Cannon did fall down on the back line here, but still, now they have to watch out. Okay, hey. Backline visor. Going to work out. Find Copel up for one. Chase down the Wrecking Ball, unable to finish that one up, but now looking for the pick, and oh, safe comes up big. Watch out, that's going to be a nice big explosion. Bob invested onto the point as well. They're trying to keep this one as live for as long as they can, but Phoenix are finding all the kills that they need. The Robot Butler is going to be dismantled and sent home, and Phoenix will be getting up point number 1.
Safe apparently has argument with the MVP candidate. Safe looking very good on the legs. Been looking great on the May. Looking great on the hit scan now. Just a lot of I mean, and you have to have that with it when we're running a 6-man comp with only a 6-man roster like Phoenix is. You have to have that versatility. You have to be able to be playing a lot of different heroes at a high level, and that's what we're seeing from all of Phoenix. I mean, every hero they're coming out with is looking strong.
And a great response coming in from Kaiju Corp Clover here. Able to slow down the momentum. We talked about how deadly that is. Cannon going in for a cheeky little swing. Backing off of there. Didn't unfortunately knock anybody off into the minefield, but I really like the idea there. Meanwhile, Nat sitting in. Oh! I'd like to think that the self-destruct wasn't made to clear mines, but hey, it worked out. No, EMP goes live, gonna find 2 here as the sound barrier is met with it as well. Cannon just walking around on little hamster ball legs. Still, the fight is being contested right now. Mr. Beast, or sorry, the Beast, doing as much possible damage as they can. Still Felix in the back line here. Okay, another tactical visor going to be spotted out as well. Cannon just trying to get as much damage, soak it all up here. That's what tanks are supposed to do, but the picks are coming through for Phoenix right now. Still, the respawns are coming in. They got to make sure that they stay alive here. Can't lose it. It's going to be a long, painful walk home as the Beast finds Copel in the back line. Self-destruct is going to be invested onto the point here. Doesn't find anybody. And, well, would you look at that? They've had a chance to regroup, and now Kaiju Corp Clover are back onto this point, and it looks like they're turning this one around.
That's a great defensive, just defensive show there coming out from Clover. They weathered the storm. They know when to play up. They know when to play back. And ultimately, you know, obviously they can't afford to give up any sort of progress here, and they don't. So now you're looking at 2.5 minutes time bank for Phoenix. Ultimate's Dogfish with a good bob. That's a great point stall. Radiant Light's going to be able to basically shut down any engagement that this 6-man comp comes out with for Phoenix. I keep wanting to call it 6-man, and then I see the soldier and it throws me off. But it is 6-man, and now EMP coming out, getting 4. No DPS in it though.
Yeah, but hey, Pen fell down as well, so Kaiju Corp, well, they're gonna recover off of this one nice and easy. Well, yeah, Clover. Wow, that was a very definitive fight.
Great job, and they do use a couple ults in that, 3 ults to be exact. That rally coming out, they do get that rally armor. Still, I doubt that Phoenix will take a fight for that armor to remain relevant. But now you do have Nano coming online from JB. You've got Cannon with the minefield. Dogfish doing a good job to farm a little bit of extra ultimate there off that dynamite. But Nat with the EMP, you've got Max with that primal to really just got fight stays. But the ult to look out for. State coming online with that tag visor here soon. But the EMP, it's got just 2, but those 2 might be enough.
Yep, and just like that, the TPS has fallen down. Okay, Phoenix are looking to win it right here. They just need that point pressure. The Wrecking Ball is going to get the nano boost. It has to roll around right now, stay alive for as long as possible, but there's too much pressure coming in from Phoenix. Just like that, Phoenix win it out 3-1. After losing map 1 in a pretty devastating fashion, they pulled their pants right back up and marched right back in and get 3 maps in a row, Lemon Pepper.
Absolutely, and I mean, just you can't really ask for more as a team in that performance than Phoenix got there. I mean, you know, they come out, they demonstrate. I mean, shoo, let's just look at that. That was beautiful. Absolutely, you do love to see it. But I mean, you can't ask for much better in a victory there. If you're Phoenix, you got, you know, you go out, you lose early, you weather the storm there, you mentally come back from that, you get you know, a win on your terms, running your mobility comps, doing things like that. Then you go out on Kings Row and you get a victory on the Brawl comp against the comp that had beat you. So just from a mental standpoint, you put all that together. This is a great win for Phoenix against a incredibly strong Kaiju Clover team. Make no mistake, even with a alternate, call it alternate main tank player, Cannon is a stud on the projectile DPS. We know that he's got the mechanical goods. You know, all this considered, Clover's a stud team. They're a tough team to play against. This is a big win for Phoenix. You know, there's some understandable circumstances coming out for Clover that definitely, I think, led to possibly the result here today. You do see that, you know, that's an understandable thing. Main tank is a crucial role, and to have that switch up, you know, it's definitely a detriment. So, you know, that has to be said. I don't think Clover, you know, they're not out of this yet. You know, they're looking low in the standings, but you have to remember, top 8 teams are going to playoffs. So all Clover has to do is not be the very bottom. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you can make it in the playoffs, you've got a shot. And Clover at their prime, they can take some of these top teams. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a bump in the road for Clover. They can bounce back from this. But Phoenix, this is the story we have to talk about. This is a team that no one expected coming out, making a statement, maintaining that top four status here. You have to think there's no way they're going down after a victory like that. They're going to stay in the top four, and rightfully so at this point.
Yeah, they looked absolutely amazing there. But of course, Lemon Pepper, we might have to pick a little bit of an MVP coming in for Phoenix. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts because it's pretty definitive in my mind. I know you are going back and forth between a couple of players.
I'm I'm torn because the off tank performance from CSPP was impressive, very strong. It's everything you look for in Diva performance. Specifically, I'm very much keying up on that because I've been studying a lot of Diva because my Diva is not very good in my opinion. So watching CSPP's performance tonight on Diva, good stuff. Love to see it. It was just overall textbook in a lot of aspects, but the May performance from Safe, the overall performance coming on a soldier. I mean, you felt safe throughout this entire series in one way, shape, or form. Uh, I I would have to probably give it to Safe as much as I as much as I don't want to. It pains me. It
Yeah,
does
yeah,
pain
yeah.
me mainly a little bit because of the name. And there will be if I ever get to interview Safe, there will be questions about the name. We but I digress. Safe, huge performance. CSPP huge performance. The rest of Phoenix, I mean, everybody. Max on the main tank, everybody looking good. I mean, it was a great performance overall that all of them should be very proud of.
Absolutely. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to be throwing to a quick break, and then we're going to be getting a nice little interview coming out shortly. So stick around and let's interview someone from Phoenix. All right. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We just had Kaiju Core Clover up against Phoenix. Phoenix winning it out 3-1. And now we're joined in the booth by the off-tank extraordinaire, diva extraordinaire, actually. CSPPP, how you doing after that win?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. How about you guys? Was it a good game to watch?
Absolutely.
I'd have to
I
say
hope
so.
so. We
Yes,
had fun.
100%.
Yeah, I certainly had fun watching it. I definitely, it stood out to me just the overall Diva performance, but we'll get to that later. My first question is just
Yeah.
you mentioned the core of this team that's been playing together for such a long time. Who exactly is that core?
That's
Who are the
myself.
outsiders?
That's well, at this point we're all pretty close now, I'd say. But as for the three who remain, it's myself, Beast, and Max. We've been together now on this team for gosh, over 3 years.
I had a feeling it was the tank line at the very least. I knew you guys had to have at least played together because the one I've seen you guys play together before, but two, y'all just have such great synergy together. Y'all play very well. You play off each other. Uh, so now with that core, bringing in new players, how exactly, how do you make that kind of all come together?
Well, it's sometimes it's a little difficult, but we've just kind of determined to stick together and just keep looking for as long as it takes to find somebody that we really jive with to fill the positions that we need. And when we do, it turns out pretty great because all about it's not so much for us about like getting the best player or whatnot. We just like to have fun together and play. Of course, we try hard and we want to win, but I think overall our team's synergy and how we just communicate with one another is very good.
Well, having fun has definitely turned into some serious wins for you guys. I mean, uh, at least on the side of casters and your checkpoints and kind of the on-screen talent of Hyperion so far, you guys have been seen as a bit of an underdog, but the performances don't really seem to lead into that. You guys are beating some strong teams, some big name teams, my team included, and you're doing so in a strong fashion. So based on all that, do you feel the kind of underdog narrative? Do you feel that's warranted? What do what are your thoughts on it, basically?
Yeah, it's always nice to be the underdog. I think we came in not knowing how we do. We've always kind of been like a high plat, low diamond team, so we thought this would be perfect, like the perfect SR range for us. And I think we're pretty competitive. We didn't do so hot in our first game, but we kind of pulled back together and came back for the two that we have gotten to play since then. So I think we've done pretty well. Hopefully, we continue this streak.
Yeah, it's always
Well,
easy to be the underdog when you are winning
so
games
true.
too, isn't it?
Man, that's the best time to be the underdog. It's like the Bengals right now. It's the best time to be the underdog is when you're winning. So
Yeah.
just keep winning and keep being the underdog. But I, for one, I'm excited to see more of you guys. I'm excited to see how the rest of this stage pulls out, and if you guys can maybe break into this kind of undefeated top two deadlock. Will we see another team in the top two? Will it be you guys? Will it be another team? I'm all great things, but thank you for joining us for this interview. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh yeah, always
Yeah,
willing
and
to
Oh,
dish out a first loss.
oh, ouch. You
Oh,
got me.
well,
We're
Well,
coming for him. Just be
uh,
ready.
thank you
I
for
love it.
joining us in the booth here, CSPPP. But before we let you go, I once again say congratulations to your team for us. But do you have
Thank you.
anybody you would like to shout out here?
Just a shout out to the team in general. We all did pretty great tonight. So congrats to everybody who played,
Yeah, it
and
sounds
of course to Kaiju Core. They did well too. They gave us run for our money on several occasions there during these maps, and they're a great team.
It was a great
wow.
match. It really was. It was fun to watch.
Yes, so wholesome. Wow, that was probably the best shoutouts that I've heard in quite some time. Well, thank
Agreed.
you once
Agreed.
again. Make sure to send our regards to the rest of Phoenix because you guys absolutely killed it out there, and a very well deserved victory to you. But this is going to be the end of the show for tonight. That's right, Kaiju Core Clover up against Phoenix, and Phoenix winning it out 3-1. It's been casted by myself, Marks, alongside Lemon Pepper, and we've been produced and observed by Oakley. But before we close things out, Lemon Pepper, you got any final words of wisdom for us?
Going to be a great second half of this tournament. It's already got off to a bang, and it's only going to get better from here. I'm excited to be a player, a caster, all of it, just to be a fly on the wall of the whole thing. Can't wait to see what we have in store. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. You're going to want to make sure to follow the Hyperion channel just so you can keep up to date with the tournament because obviously, like Lemon Pepper said, we're in the second half now. And this is when things get spicy. So you're going to want to make sure to tune in for all of the future matches as well. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next game. Have a good night, everyone.